Who am I? I've been in the software industry for 20 years now. I'm a AWS community builder, did some AWS certifications, currently working as an architect with Serverless Guru. Before we go into this topic for today, I would like to ask the audience here, is anybody here working in the SRE area or the ops team? Anyone? Some of them, that's great. So today's topic is about how the AI agents can revolutionize the field of SRE. So I've also worked as an SRE for a couple of years for one of the billion-dollar companies rhyming with Snapple. But the project was quite horrendous because there was not much automation happening in the project. It would happen like when the application is running under heavy load in US, I'm probably sleeping in India, and the call comes and the manager says, hey, one of the containers is not responding, what to do? So then I have to wake up, I get into the system, I check the things, I go through the run books and find out the solution, fix it. So all these things happen. So it's not optimum, right? So when we look at, then we looked at AI agents now and how it can revolutionize this process. So first we used to have these chatbots. We ask questions, it will answer them, and we have the RAG. I know the previous session also talked about RAG, or the retrieval augmented generation. I think he gave a really good description of that. And now we are coming to AI agent. AI agent is an automated system that can not just answer your queries, but also take actions based on that. It has access to a number of tools, and using those tools, it can take actions on behalf of the user. So the first thing is tool utilization. So it's called function calling in AI. So first we have an LLM agent, and to this LLM agent, we pass a list of tools, and we tell the agent that when the user is giving you a query, you go through these tools and find out which tools can be used to answer this query, use them and see if you can answer it. So the agent is going through those tools, it will go through a loop of running them, getting the answers from the tool, see how it helps to answer the user's query, go so on and so forth. And it has persistent memory. The memory stores what the user has asked, what I have responded so far, what this user has requested in previous sessions, all those things. It helps to create a very personalized experience for the user. So now we come to Strands Agent SDK. So in the previous session, I know that he talked about LangChain, LangGraph. So the Strands Agents SDK, this is an SDK from Amazon that they have developed, and I really love it because you can start with it very easily. It doesn't take a lot of work to set it up or get your agent running. As we saw before, it can run a lot of tools. Already the Strands SDK comes with 50 plus tools already built into it. Like it can use the computer, it can use the browser, it can do file-based operations, create an image, video, search files, all those things without you developing anything. All these tools have already been built and given to the Strands SDK. And the agents and the LLM model is very flexible. You can use the models that come as part of the Bedrock. This is the default option, and it's very easy to start. But if you want to use maybe OpenAI model that you already have, or some model that you have in your local environment, you want to use that. You don't want to send your data to Bedrock or OpenAI or any of those players. That can also be done. You want to run it locally, you can do that. Any agent, you can do that. Any LLM model you can use. And it has memory, it keeps the memory of all the transactions that has happened, as we saw before. This is the simplest agent. It's barely 3 lines here. So we first instantiate the agent. We then if you want to give it some tool, you can send the tool. So here I have added the calculator tool, and then you can directly start invoking the agent with whatever user queries you have. So it's not even like 3 lines and you already have an agent running. So this one is using the default option of the cloud that's there in your Bedrock, and you have given the access to it using the AWS methods of either using an IAM role, user, credential, any of those methods. But if you want to customize this more, you can use the LLM you can add agent config on this, then you can use a different model, you can use different tools, any of those things are possible. Once everything is set up, you can run this and it will run those tools for you. And we have all the observability that we expect from any of the AWS tools like logs, traces, metrics, evaluation, everything is there. So any query that has come from the user, whatever tools were run in response to that query, what all responses came from the tool, the whole thing is logged and kept as inside this. So it gives you a lot of explainability, it gives a lot of auditing abilities, all those are possible with this. Looking at the RAG, this is the basic RAG mechanism where you have an input, there is an LLM model. To this LLM model, we have given a knowledge base. Most of the cases, this is a vector store, a database that can store vectors. So we have given it a knowledge base. When the input comes, the query comes, the LLM model will go to the knowledge base, query it, get the relevant information, and outputs it. So in the SRE case, let's think about this. We already have a lot of documentation about what the system looks like, what all tech stack we have, what Kubernetes version we have, what are the existing runbooks we have, all those things we have. So all these things can go and sit inside the knowledge base. And now the SRE can go to this knowledge base, query it, and get the answer. When we come to an agent, now this agent has got access to a number of tools. So here we have, say, as an example, I have a weather tool, a database tool, a payments tool, Slack tool, etc. In an SRE situation, this will be tools that can interact with the tech stack in your system, like it could be a CLI to interact with your database, Kubernetes cluster, ECS cluster, Unix commands, all those things. So you can give access to these things to the agent, and this agent already has the access to the knowledge base as well. Now when the query comes in this situation, maybe the query is such that the query is coming from your CloudWatch alert, which has come because there is huge amount of CPU utilization. This comes to the agent. What does the agent do? It looks at the tools it has with it, like the CLIs, the knowledge base, all those things. It looks at them and it goes through a loop wherein it will run those tools and see, does this tool satisfy the query? And it goes through that loop and it builds that response. And until it reaches a satisfactory response, it will keep on doing this loop and coming up with the response. Now here I want to introduce another service called OpenSearch. OpenSearch is a service within AWS. Many of you probably know this. This is a distributed, high availability database that we have. This is a document index. You create document indexes and store them within the OpenSearch. Now OpenSearch has the ability to be a vector store. You can create the index and then you can query those for the vectors. It handles all kinds of data like text, number, geospatial, and now mainly for our use case, it has the vector also. When we combine these two things together, agents using a Strands SDK and some vector store like OpenSearch, now you have a great powerful tool with you that can handle the day-to-day issues that you're having in the system. In the OpenSearch, you have all those years of knowledge base that this enterprise has built in, like the runbooks, issues, solutions, all those things. And then this agent has the ability to run tools and take actions. Now we combine these two things together, you have a very sophisticated, automated agent that can look at this and retrieve that knowledge, make the plan to solve the issue, execute those tools, and verify that and give you the result. This is a demo for a rack situation where you are asking the issue about a network issue that you are having, how to fix the network issue. So you ask this question to the agent. This agent here, it's just working as a knowledge base. It goes through the all the documents and things that you have in your OpenSearch. Here we are using the cloud model. It goes through that and generates the response. Now this POC is running on my local system and it takes a little bit of time to come up with the response. But in an actual enterprise situation, this could be a lot more faster and it can come up with the response. So it goes through the knowledge base and gives you the steps for an SRE to take. Now if you are having an SRE team and you are building it up, you have added a new member into the team and it takes time for this person to scale up and come to speed. If you have a knowledge base like this, a RAG system like this, it's much easier for that person to come up to speed. Same way, within an agent situation, this is the automatic SRE who gets alert for an issue on the network. It goes through the knowledge base, it finds what steps it has to take, and it goes to the tools and it gets what it has to do, and it uses the tools it has with it to take the action, find the solution, and it can verify that it has fixed the issue as well. So here it has a tools for the network checking, it has tools for the Kubernetes clusters, it can run those tools and get the answers for your issue, and it can create a whole documentation for what happened. So the managers are going to ask you for the ROC, what happened in this case, what is the issue, what did you do, how do you fix it. So all these things has come here. So this report is there, which is also useful. It tells about what was the incident, how did we respond to that. So the example that we saw is we had a network issue. We had the OpenSearch with all the knowledge base. The agent has the tools that it requires to do the analysis of the issue. It does the analysis and finds the answer. This is how the architecture looks like. I'm sorry, this is a bit not very visible. So we have a CloudWatch alarm which gets triggered when there is an issue in the system. Say it's a CPU utilization is high, or you cannot reach your Kubernetes ports. The ports are not accessible. The health is not accessible. All those can be there. So this alarm raises. This alarm is going to the agent that you have set up. When the agent gets the alarm, it goes to the OpenSearch index for the knowledge base and it puts the query to that, comes up with the relevant content from your RAG content knowledge base, and then it accesses the various tools it has in its tool belt, uses those tools in that agentic loop again and again till it reaches the solution for the issue. In some cases, we have also had the situation where the agent is not completely sure about the action plan. Is this the right thing to do? So in that case, it can also send a message to the Slack to the team asking for a verification. So in that, this is like a human in the loop. So sometimes the confidence level is not above 90% or a certain percent that you can set. So if it's not above that level, it can put a human into the loop for an approval, and the human can approve and then it can go and run the runbook. In other cases, it can take the action on its own autonomously and fix the issue. This was the real world scenario that we saw. There is a spike is there in the service. It searches a query on the OpenSearch, creates the plan, and goes through the plan each step by step, runs the tool, gets the answer, verifies that it has fixed the issue, and writes the documentation. There are a lot of benefits from this such an implementation. We have like all the data and memory is there, which means that the responses are always personalized. Then you have it's very auditable because we are running this in the Bedrock now. If you run it in other systems, that's also okay. But then you have to build those guardrails and audit functionalities yourself. You have to bring in that. If you are using some model from Bedrock, that means the guardrails, the audit, everything is already built in. Then it's very scalable than using putting everything onto the human members to do it. It's very scalable. A lot of potentials for such a use case, I think, in the DevOps and Ops areas. The Ops itself can become like an AI Ops, wherein the incident resolution is automated. It could go into security. It can go into customer support, revenue Ops. All those areas are there for the potentially. So the core is when search means reasoning, the data becomes action. You already have a lot of data in your systems about what is happening in your system, what are the incidents. Now you are combining that with the knowledge base and with the reasoning in the LLM. So using these two things together, you are able to take actions that can positively impact your enterprise. This is my session. I would close here. This is my QR code for my LinkedIn. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, or you have more questions or would like to chat further, I'm more than welcome. Thank you for the time, and thank you for this opportunity. This is the feedback link, and this is very important that you fill this. We'd like to improve these sessions and events further and further. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thanks, Manu. Great presentation. I was thinking about like using not OpenSearch, but what about this S3 vector store? Because like in this case, what you're thinking about. Thank you very much. Thank you for your talk. And I was thinking that like to save money, you can not provision the whole OpenSearch. There is OpenSearch serverless, of course, but takes money as well. I think like in this case where we don't need real time and we can take our time, to respond to the incident. What do you think about using S3 vector store? Have you potentially thought about it, or you have implemented it, something like that?
That's thank you for the question. That's a great question about the OpenSearch part of the solution. So it's not about which vector store you use. You could use any vector store. Instead of the OpenSearch, you could use Pinecone or even Fice or any other tool that's for that matter. S3 vector is also a great option. Depends on the KPIs that you are trying to achieve in your enterprise. What's the rate? What's the MTTR that you're looking at? What's the amount of time that your enterprise is to wait till it gets the answer? Do you want it very quickly, or you have like an SLA that's more flexible? Depending on that, you can use some other vector store as well. OpenSearch is a great one. S3 vector store is also a great option when you look at the cost one. But
yeah, and I think you need to set up less networking, because with OpenSearch, at least with traditional OpenSearch service, you need to stop VPC as well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone?
Thank you, Manu.
Thank you.